Today I'm going to be walking you through the entire content creation process for when I'm working with clients. This is a full behind the scenes look at how to make UGC content and all of the tips I've picked up in the 5 years I've been working with clients. I'm covering everything from the planning process, filming setup, the equipment I use, all the way through to editing and recording voiceovers. So let's rewind to the beginning of my content creation day. First things first, for a content day, I'm going to pack the bag. So these are some props I'm actually going to use for my own branding shoot on Friday. But in my backpack, we're going to pack this camera, my tripod, and then exposing my messy cupboard. But this is where I keep all of the products from my clients tucked away so they stay all nice. So we're going to grab everything out of there. This is like organized chaos, I promise. I've got like storing extra bags and then my stuff underneath. But basically, first step is making sure I've got a list of the products I need. And basically in my Trello board, which is where I store all my clients' content calendars, I also have a running list of content ideas. So there's a list of videos that my contractor is recording and then a list that I'm doing. Some of them I've just put the product. Other months you'll notice I'm a bit more like organized and I'll have like a whole shot list that I want to do, but most of the time I just have like a product and the location. For all of these I've decided I'm just going to do music or a voiceover, so I'm not going to do any face to cam talking today because I did that a lot last month, so I want to make this a little bit different, so it's a little bit less prep and that I don't have to write a script beforehand. I will just do the video content today and then write a script and record that. If you are new to UGC, I would definitely not recommend doing that. I would recommend writing the script first so you've got all the shots that correspond and relate to the script. I would also write out a specific shot list. One thing I also do for clients is making a shot list with a location and an outfit, so making sure they're like changing tops or whatever, so all of your videos don't like look exactly the same. I'll often do just the trick of like taking off my glasses and taking my hair out for like a different look. So I'm gonna do one on the marine collagen this month, but I might bring all the supplements just in case like I want a shot of all of them, and then I can be at the end of the voiceover like check out our full range of supplements. Perfume tin, perfect. The whole idea really is to make sure you're like showcasing the products in action instead of just like being cute and aesthetic. So sometimes throughout the month I'll add specific links to specific audio that I want to like create a reel for. So this is like a funny whoops splashing one with like a trending audio. We've made it to the studio and let's talk about the gear. I think the most important thing you need is some kind of tripod. I recently just bought this one off Temu just to like have something extra here in the studio instead of transporting my own tripod up all the time. I've also got one that has a ring light on it, but I honestly think something cheap like this still does the job. You don't have to have the fanciest tripod. The tripod that this camera on though is very, very fancy. I bought that as like a very special treat to myself last year. It's the Peak Design aluminium tripod. It's very specifically designed for content creators who are traveling and it's very compact. This is a diffuser and flicky, so usually I use it with this silver side. I really hope, oh, somebody's broken it. I get really nervous leaving my stuff at the studio. If you're new around here, this is the content studio that I own. And that's really not cool that someone's broken it and then just put it back in the cupboard without telling me, because now I've come to use it and it's broken. I tried to make everything in the studio like inclusive to make the content creation process really easy or easier for our clients. The only thing I charge extra for is our big studio light, which I don't have with me today because that is like a $500 light, so I'm not just gonna leave it in here. But even this is like the flicky that my uncle gave me when I first started photography years ago, and it's served me so well and it's not broken. Now, if you are somebody who is not lucky enough to have like a beautiful shoot space like this, I would highly recommend getting some backdrops. So this is what I did when I first started my business. These ones were from a website in Australia, but they were quite expensive, and the next round that I got from AliExpress, and they're honestly just as good and they're about half the price. So essentially you use these, they look very realistic, they look like tiles, it's just paper. I have one that's a white wood floor and then a few colored ones, and I use those to essentially make it look like a fake kitchen or a really nice fake backdrop. Just put myself up against a window, like I've positioned myself here, you get really good natural light. And it's good in case you're like limited in terms of location where you're shooting. I've got all of my products laid out that I'm gonna be using, glass of water, which is kind of like a prop, and then my list of what I'm filming on my computer, makeup for any touch-ups. I think I'm gonna do the marine collagen supplements first because I have like a bit more of an idea of what I want to film. Almost forgot a very crucial step, which is wiping your camera lens, getting all of the finger smudgings off, making sure it's as good quality as we can get it. I did a TikTok and reel recently about how to shoot better quality content, and so often it's because people just don't clean with their lens. And yes, I do film on the big fancy DSLR camera occasionally, but I think with UGC content, it does end up looking better and actually performing better when it's just filmed on your phone. Like it looks really organic, really authentic, looks like a genuine customer, and you can still make it visually very engaging and high quality, but for me, using the phone really works. So far, and I actually had a private coaching session, so it's actually been a couple of hours, and I haven't been doing content this whole time. And I wanted to talk about one of the biggest mistakes I see new UGC creators make when it comes to their content creation, and it is not being creative enough with the video angles and with the content that they are producing. So what I mean by this is I've just done 2 videos. One is on our collagen supplement for my client, and then the other is on the perfume tin. And even if I look at the perfume tin, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different angles that I have sort of looked at the product. Like we've got, you know, shots of it sitting like this, then we've got shots of it like putting it back into the tin that it comes in. But then we've also got this mid shot of me like sitting here with the gift tin, opening it up, holding it up to camera. And what I'll do to produce the end video is intercut all of these different angles and different shots together to just make it visually engaging and interesting. And I'll be adding a voiceover talking about like the benefits of the product. The other thing to keep in mind is like visual representations of what you're talking about or the benefits of the product. So for the collagen supplements, collagen, obviously the big thing is strengthening your nails and hair. So I did this fun video that you would have seen me do in the time lapse where I was like tousling up my hair. And the idea is to put that visual with me talking about like, do you struggle with thin hair, nails that keep breaking all the time? Have you thought about using collagen supplements? And I've also got like a little video of me kind of flashing my nails, and I made sure obviously that I did my nails nice and tidy for this photo shoot. I was in the middle of talking to you guys, but I've just had another idea for the perfume tin of another angle, so I'm gonna come back to you. Let's do with the floral wall. This is new and I haven't done this before. Obviously, lighting is another thing to keep in mind as a UGC creator. Sorry, you're on a bit of a lean here. I need to fix my tripod. But as an example, like shooting backlit like this and can sometimes be really effective. But if we move the camera around this way, you can see how being in front of a window can kind of fill in my face a bit more and just look like I've got like some professional lighting. This was why I was at the other end of the studio earlier shooting in front of the window. Now, if you have ever wondered about product for UGC creators, this is usually something that you get to keep, which is kind of awesome. Obviously for me, this is a long-term relationship I have with this client. So the products, I don't just like use and abuse to like get through it all and be like, yay, free skincare. Because I want to make sure that I'm not like taking advantage of that relationship. And I think a lot of UGC creators forget about this when they're thinking about their prices and what to charge their clients. Like if they're taking product as well, like your client is essentially like paying to ship you something, that's something that should be like taken into consideration with your pricing. And I have done a whole training on pricing and UGC services. I feel like that's a separate video. I did it as like a training for my students. In case you're curious how that relationship works, all of these products kind of stay with me. And for a lot of like one-off situations where I've worked with brands, I also get to like keep it if it's like a drink bottle or something. I have had situations where it'll be like a fashion brand or it'll be like expensive high ticket items, and they'll send them to me to make the content, and then I will send it back to them. That was also like a standard thing that also helped me when I was getting started with working with smaller businesses who don't have a huge budget and don't want to gift a UGC creator a $300 handbag. That also helps. So really it's about having a conversation with the client and figuring out what like works best for them. Now we're gonna have some fun with the shower oil. I just realized I actually don't know if this is gonna be possible because I didn't bring shorts. So I'm trying to like hike up my jeans. I basically have a lot of footage of this shower oil already, and I just want a new establishing shot of like my legs in the air, like holding the shower oil. Is it working? Okay, I think it worked. I think we can crop it. It's like my legs in the bathtub. That's actually awesome. Sometimes it's doing like weird creative stuff like this to just like hook people's attention. That shot's probably not particularly like UGC-ish, like it's obviously not a real bathtub. It's a little bit staged, but it's also like experimenting, right? And seeing what works. And I think I'm gonna intercut some of the other UGC creators' content like into this maybe. See if that could work. See if we have permission to do that for this clients, first of all. So I always recommend filming with your back camera just because the quality is so much better. And if you struggle with seeing yourself, because obviously you can't see the screen when you're filming this way, there's a function on an iPhone called screen mirroring. So you push this little button in your menu, bring that up, and you can connect it to your other Apple devices. So if you have a watch, an Apple Watch, or if you have a MacBook. So I'm going to be removing my makeup with a cleanser for this next video, and then I can look down at my laptop. Oh, this is really meta. As you can see the camera through the other camera. But basically I position myself so this camera angle is first of all wrong. Oh, see, now I'm kind of cheating because I could just use this camera to see how lined up I am. But in theory, we can use the laptop, there we go, to see and position myself. And I can just have this down here. It's a little bit laggy, but it's pretty good. And we're basically gonna do like a little demo. And I've got my wet cloth, and the reason I want to be able to see it on my computer is because I want to get some real like close-up shots of the eye so I can cut it and do a before and after, because we've had specific customer questions on if this cleanser removes eye makeup. So answering our FAQs in our content. I feel like we've just had a dramatic jump cut from yesterday looking very glamorous, and now I'm back in my pajamas. I am editing today, so I kind of broke one of my own rules when it comes to shooting content, and that is to really carve out a decent chunk of time in your calendar. And yesterday I had a live class that I taught in the morning for an hour. Then I had a bunch of other like admin things that I was doing, and then I had a 2-hour private coaching session, and I definitely just had too much on my plate. So I actually only ended up doing around like 4 or 5 videos, and I need to do 8. But I think what I'm gonna do is go to my parents' house this afternoon and just film the last couple, because I think it's really nice with your UGC content if you have like another friend that you can just go use their house to film at as well, just to make sure you're mixing up the locations and keeping things interesting. It's why often whenever I'm traveling, I try line up client content to shoot as well, or any sort of UGC packages, because then I can use like hotel rooms, hotel bathrooms, their lobby, if they have like an office area, and just mix things up, keep things fresh and different. I feel like that really does help. And usually my process is to like smash out all of the filming in one day, or if I have a trip, I like split it up across a couple of days. Or in this situation, you know, the creative juices weren't quite flowing yesterday and we didn't get it all done, so it's going to be across 2 days. But then my usual process is to to have an editing day. So I'm kind of doing that this morning, and I'm literally being like a child and bribing myself to finish editing the videos, because once I do that, I can go pick up the dress that I bought that's arrived in store, and I can go to Costco and get a whole bunch of things I need for my birthday party tomorrow, go buy some flowers for the photo shoot I'm doing as well. So I'm literally bribing myself to get this stuff done, and sometimes that's the reality of doing this creative work. Like it's actually really hard, and like I always hesitate saying that because I know I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I don't do anything crazy, I'm not a prime minister, like I'm just a social media manager. Like my job isn't that hard, but I think a lot of people underestimate how hard it is to be putting out creative work like every day in your job. And that's where I really don't believe UGC is sustainable as like your only source of income or your only revenue stream. For me, that's why I still do the social media management, and I do more social media management than I do of the UGC content creation. It's very like limited spots for that because of how draining it can be, just constantly trying to come up with new videos and new content ideas. I'm in a much happier place now that I'm not stretching myself too thin trying to work with like 10 different clients in a month. And then of course, we have all of the courses and the digital products and those revenue streams and sponsorships and affiliate links, but that's for another video. Right now we're talking about UGC. So let's get into the editing. First things first, we are going to wake up my computer. So this Octo grip thing that I added to the back, it's not actually an Octo grip, it's like a rip off that I got off Temu, is so sticky. I was using it for the first time yesterday, and now every time I just put it down on my desk, it's like sticks to it. I accidentally left my tripod behind in the studio, so I'm making a makeshift one with this to try and show you what I'm doing. Okay, first things first, I've dumped all of my footage into Premiere Pro. We'll come back there in a second. But the next thing I do, let me turn my audio off so I don't blast you with noise here, is I come through and find some of the saved audios that I want to use for this client, and I just download the video so I can strip the audio. I've got one on TikTok as well, and I basically do this. I use Snaptic and I use, what is this, inflax.com to just download the audios so that I can edit on my computer, because I find this so much faster. And you guys know, if you want to make more money in your business, the faster you work, the more money you're going to make, essentially. Like the more efficient you are working, more clients you can work with, the faster your output is for your work, the more you can work with. So it's really important to make sure that you have systems in place, or that you've got editing sort of systems in place. I find when I edit on my phone and you're like trying to like drag things, like it's just so inefficient and slow versus how fast I can move on my computer. Okay, hopefully my camera is gonna stop freaking out now. Sorry about that, guys. The lighting was crazy. So as I was saying, once I'm in Premiere Pro, I have all my audio, I have all my video, everything's raw, and I just do an initial trim of all the clips because I obviously film by myself, so I just have it rolling on a tripod, and some of the clips can be quite long. Sometimes like this one, I'll probably split this into 2 clips and divide it up in the montage. So we have that, and it's really nice editing here. You guys can see all of the different angles that I use when I'm creating one piece of content. We've got different close-ups, mid shots, we've got bird's eye view, we're looking closely at the product, we are using the product, showing it in action, and we're gonna splice this all together. So I do this rough cut. I think there's a bit here where I like drop this on the floor. There we go, that's the correct one. We're gonna cut before I look away. And I think it's really important with your UGC edits to have a really good variety here, and to make sure your cuts are quite quick, because people get bored really easily. So you wanna make sure you have like a lot of visual interest. So again, you can see all the different angles we're working with here. Bird's eye view, we've got the product just kind of like splayed out on the table. That's out of focus, so we won't use that part. There we go. So you can see I had that whole clip there, but I'm only using that like little 2 seconds. And like I am gonna point out here, guys, like I've been editing video content for over 10 years now in terms of when we started our YouTube channel and our blog. So I am pretty fast at this, if I do like toot my own trumpet. So you don't have to be comparing yourself to me and how fast I edit things. It's about a skill that you need to develop. Something that I always say to my students is you wouldn't pick up a guitar or start playing the piano and expect to just smash it on your first day, right? And for some reason, people don't realize that creating content on social media is actually a creative skill, just like learning to play a musical instrument. And it takes time to develop and hone your skills, which is why anybody who's interested in getting into UGC, social media management, if you want to be an influencer, a creator, anything like that, my best advice is to always just practice, like start posting content, because the first pieces of content you make are probably going to be terrible. And it is just like, learning a musical instrument. There are those people that just are like naturally born with the talent. So you do see some of those creators that just start their business and then are an overnight success. And, like they're the next Mozart of the social media world. But for the majority of us, it's not actually like that. We have to hustle. We have to develop and hone our skill. We have to practice every day to get better. And that's the thing with social media that I think a lot of people don't realize. But that is also why you can make lots of money doing it, because a lot of people don't have, or a lot of business owners don't have the time or capacity to be learning and honing their craft. So you can do it instead. I'm going to do the rough edit of some of these and then come back to you to talk about voiceovers and adding the audio. Okay, so it's been a couple of hours. I had some tech issues with finding footage on my computer and it not downloading and running out of space, but we're here. And so far, to give you a bit of an update, I have edited a couple repurposing video from my client's TikTok. I've done some like transformational montages about their journey. This one behind the scenes capping I've updated with a trending audio on Instagram. And then I've done this one, which I'm going to add text to in Instagram. And then I basically compiled the raw footage and put it in order of how I think I'd like it to show up. I think I'd like it to show up in the video. But sometimes I tweak this after recording the voiceover. So we've got those two, perfume, the supplement, and then I finished the shower oil video, and I actually just repurposed some old footage from a whole bunch of different shower oil videos from both myself and my client. So it's come together really nicely. I love doing this in my UGC videos. This is a whole bunch of screenshots of customer testimonials, and I just think that always adds a nice touch of social proof to a video. And yes, I am still in my pajamas, and it's almost midday, but we'll get out of the pajamas once we have edited this. I just want to power through and get it done. So this is the mic that I use for most of my voiceovers. I also have this little guy, which I can link below. It's from the brand Ulanzi, and this one plugs into my phone directly. So sometimes I'll do voiceovers on that. This tends to be better quality. This is what I use for my podcast recordings. This is a Shure MV7 mic as well. So I'll try and link all of my gear down below in the description box. My gosh, my hair looks awful. Why am I doing this? Sometimes I'm like, why do I put myself on the internet in such a state? But let's be honest, this is what a social media manager or a UGC creator looks like most of the time. Okay, so let's get into this. Do you know what's actually inside those supplements you're taking? Here's the truth. Not all collagen supplements are made the same. And the reason why our customers see such amazing results here at Neat is we are using the best quality ingredients. Marine collagen is 1.5 times more effectively... No, incorrect that one. I kind of suck at following the script, by the way, so this is going to be entertaining. Marine collagen is 1.5 times more efficiently absorbed into your body than other forms of collagen. It has widespread benefits and can improve the structural integrity of everything from your joints, skin, vital organs, blood vessels, and even bones. Marine collagen is environmentally friendly and sustainable as it uses parts of the fish that are normally thrown away. We also add keratin, which is a protein that gives the skin strength and flexibility, aids in the synthesis of collagen, and serves to provide a waterproof barrier. Use the code NEAT15 for 15% off your first order. So as you can see, I edited it all in one go, and now I'll go chop out the stuttering and the pauses and the bits where I mucked up. Collagen video has come out at just under 50 seconds, so good length. I actually didn't quite have enough footage, so luckily I could go back to a few months ago and I did another collagen video and pull some of the footage from that. But it's just a little note with this UGC content, especially if you're doing voiceovers, you really need more footage, way more footage than you think you do, especially if you want to make sure it cuts quickly and it's not left for 4 seconds on one shot, which can be kind of visually boring and lose interest, and people are gonna flick away from the video. You've got to keep those cuts and changes coming. So sometimes filming multiple scenarios and different locations is really key, even just for one video. So sometimes with specific reels, I don't want to add the text in Premiere Pro. I find sometimes it's better to use the text in Instagram. It's nothing to do with the SEO like a lot of people think. It's just that it looks more native in the app. The other thing I like doing is adding text in CapCut, because the text obviously is the same as what you use on TikTok, so it looks really native there. Text from TikTok also performs really well on Instagram for repurposing purposes. So I've just gone into TikTok and added some text for the one on the perfume tin. And again, you can use CapCut on your desktop, and I was just going to trial using it on the phone, and it kind of confirmed, again, all the reasons why I prefer editing on my computer. But obviously with Instagram, it has to be edited on the phone. So I've got this one where I'm lip syncing to a trending piece of audio, and I think I'm going to add something that's along the lines of when you discover that skincare brand you love doesn't actually use natural ingredients or something along those lines. I might look up some inspo on TikTok. So that's next. And then we will have, I believe, 6 videos edited and done. So I upload those into a Google Drive and send them to my client that way. And then I link them all in Trello and get them into a content calendar, because obviously I don't just do the UGC, I also do the social media management. It's a few days later, I was gonna add in a few more clips editing some different videos, and then I realized that this video is over 27 minutes long, so we're gonna wrap it up here. But I wanted to jump in and say that I have made available my UGC module from the Dishing Up Digital School. The Dishing Up Digital School, if you haven't heard me talk about it before, is a full-blown massive program and curriculum, including coaching and further support on how to become a social media manager. And obviously there's a big crossover between social media management and UGC content creation, and there are a lot of freelancers offering both. So I decided to add a module to the course where I specifically talked about UGC creation, the differences between your contracts as a social media manager versus a UGC creator, and all of my best tips and tricks that I've picked up over the years. So if you would like access to this single module, it's divided into 2 parts, and I originally taught them live to my students. And I usually keep all of the good stuff, all of the exclusive things for my Dishing Up Digital School. This is the first time I've ever made a single module available to purchase, so it's a really amazing deal and perfect if you want to kind of test out the coaching style and how I do my videos before perhaps investing in the full program. But I'm going to drop a link to that down below in the description box and also in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching, really appreciate it. Make sure you throw the video a like, a thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!